Today we will take up models. Models means they express mode of action. They are never used alone. They are always used with main verbs, and that is why models are also known as helping verbs. These models, they have no s added in the third person singular, and they have no infinitive and ing forms. Some of the very famous models are can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, ought, dare, need, etc. So we will take up first of all can, could, may and might. These models, they express ability or capacity. Means they show that a person is capable of doing something. As for example, I can swim across the river. I have that ability, the skill to swim. I can swim. He can work very hard. Can you lift this box? So, can model is used to show ability or capacity. Can and may are also used for permission. As for example, you can go now. Can I borrow your umbrella? So we see in these two sentences that can is used to express permission. May is also used, but it expresses possibility in affirmative sentences. As for example, it may rain today. He may be at home. Can this be true? It cannot be true. So can is used in interrogative and negative sentences. In very formal English, may is used to express a wish. As for example, may you live happily and long. May you attain success. Could and might are past equivalents of can and may. As for example, I could swim across the river when I was young. He said he could go out. I thought he might be at home. She wondered whether it could be true. So these are used as past forms of may and can. Could in the first example expresses only the ability to do an act, but not the performance of an act. I could swim across the river when I was young. Coming to the next point, we see that might is also used to express a degree of dissatisfaction. As for example, you might pay a little more attention to your appearance. Then we will see that shall, should, will, would are also used as models to express simple future tense. Shall is used with first person, whereas Will is used with second and third person to express simple future. I shall be 25 next year. We will need the money next month. When shall we see you again? Tomorrow will be a holiday. You will see that I am right. Shall is sometimes used in second and third person to express command, promise, or threat. And will is used with first person to show volition, habit, probability, invitation, or request. As for example, shall I open the door? Which pen shall I buy? Shall the waiter serve the coffee now? And will is used with first person to show volition. I will carry your books, or promise I will try to do better, or a determination I will succeed. Sometimes will is used to show characteristic habit. As for example, he will talk about nothing but films. She will sit for hours listening to the violins. Sometimes will is also used to show assumption or probability. As for example, this will be the book you want, I suppose. That will be the postman, I think. It also indicates an invitation or a request. Will you have tea? Will you lend me your scooter? Should and would are used as the past equivalents of shall and will. Should is also used in conditional clauses. As for example, if it should rain, they will not come. Must and ought. They express necessity or obligation. Must has a legal point. You must improve your spelling. You must follow the traffic rules. It is a necessity. Must refers to the present or the near future. Must is often used when the obligation comes from the speaker. I must be on time. Must can also express logical certainty. As for example, living in such crowded condition must be difficult. She must have left already. Ought to expresses moral application. As for example, we ought to love our neighbors. We ought to help the poor. But there is no punishment behind it. If you do not help, then there is no law which can punish you. So, it is a type of moral obligation, and it also expresses probability. As for example, prices ought to come down soon. This book ought to be very useful. Another very important model is need and dare. It expresses the necessity or obligation. As for example, He need not go. Need I write to him? I need no help. Do you need to go now? I don't need to meet him. Then the modal dare is used to show that there is some challenge involved in it. It is generally used in negative and interrogative sentences. He dare not take such a step. How dare you slap me? He dare not do it. He doesn't dare to speak to.